All right, let me hit record here. All right. So, Mike, why don't you tell us, what's your experience in crypto? Have you ever done anything in crypto before?
I have. I've
Yeah?
I've purchased coins though, but I haven't been a miner in any way.
Sure, sure. Um,
I
so like what have you had a good experience in crypto before? Or have you kind of been on the roller coaster with like Bitcoin and some of the other coins out there that's been up and down and all over the last few years?
well, I've been in a few years, and I'm really happy with what I've done. Um, and I've gained to understand what's really important in any coin is utility,
Sure.
how and liquidity. And so I want to know how TextCoin will work, how it will be utilized, how it will have adoption. Well,
Well,
and
sure.
if you're mining these coins, um, who's using it?
Yeah. So we'll go through all that. I think I'll be able to answer all those questions for you. Real quick, what I want to take us through here, I have a little PowerPoint here that we made. Uh, I'm going to pull up here. All right. So with Texacoin is a copy of Litecoin. Okay. Um, which is going to be a lot faster, cheaper, low transaction costs than what Bitcoin is. Right.
Okay.
Texacoin is a proof of work crypto, right? Just like Litecoin. And our goal, we're trying to build the largest decentralized mine in the state of Texas. So we have a geographical limitation on where our network is, right? And where our network validators are. And that's in the great state of Texas. And so, unlike a lot of other cryptos out there, we can't be taken over, mined by any foreign governments or institutions or anything like that. All right. Texacoin is the true American-made blockchain. And one thing with us is we have proven leadership, right? A lot of these crypto coins out there, you really don't know who's behind them, or you really don't know what they're going to be used for. Just like you said, utility and different things like that, right? And so, with Texacoin, we have leadership, right? We have Bobby Gray as our founder and fearless leader, but we'll get to him in a little bit more in just a second. But why Texacoin? Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are controlled by the very same foreign governments and institutions that they set out to disrupt, right? Most of the mining
Well, not
network
all
of
of them.
Bitcoin and a lot of these other cryptos out there are all, based in China, right? Now, not all of them, right? There's a lot of different coins that we can talk about, right? But as far as a mineable coin, most of them are all controlled, or the majority of the networks are controlled in foreign lands for the most part. Especially because China makes the chips for a lot of these machines. They have very cheap power. They really do control and house most of the network infrastructure out there for a lot of these cryptos, right? And again, we're a proof of work crypto, right? We're a proof of work. We're a mineable coin. It's right. So we're set out to do the job that Bitcoin's no longer doing, right? All the wealthiest people out there, the big wigs about Bitcoin, they all talk about Bitcoin the same way, that it's just digital gold, right? And so what Texacoin is sole purpose of is to be used as an actual peer-to-peer payment system, right? To be used as money, just like what Bitcoin was created for, but it's no longer doing, right?
Okay, can I interrupt?
Yeah,
Can
go
I
ahead.
interrupt? Okay,
Yeah.
so how many total coins are there going to be mined?
We'll get to all that. So there's right here the fixed
Okay,
supply. There's 353 million coins that will ever be in circulation. There's a finite supply. So just like, you know, how Bitcoin has 21 million, we have 353 million is what the total supply will be. But that will take 136 years to get mined out.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So if we invest as a miner and now
Mhm.
you sold the mining spots, 1 million supposedly, um, when that's done, who owns the mine? Who owns those positions? Does that revert to Texacoin or do you maintain ownership? Or do you not have ownership? You just hold a position.
So everybody owns their position, right, on the blockchain. MineTXC is the actual infrastructure behind building out the mining network and installing the machines and everything like that. MineTXC is the actual official partner of Texacoin, right? And so that's how it's set up to where MineTXC is putting in the infrastructure and everything. But our plan, our mining plan, is to achieve full decentralization. And part of that plan is to install home miners in and around Texas through all the Texas miners that are in our project, right? Because we are a permission blockchain, right? You have to have permission to mine our coins, or else you can't. And so with the Texas miners, the in-home miners that we're sending out, you know, there's going to be a good supply of in-home miners out there that the Texas people can have at their homes to help validate and secure our network. And so
Okay.
with
So
that, in
what
conjunction with the 35 locations that we're going to have. So our mining plan is to have 35 locations in and around Texas, that's completely spread out. So, you know, we have a lot of redundancy there, but then also have multiple thousands and thousands of in-home miners spread across Texas as well. And, and then in time, you know, we don't know the full plan, what's going to happen 5, 10 years, you know, down the road, but our goal in a nutshell, phase one is to mine. You know, we plan on having these million seats filled in and around, you know, first part of next year in the spring or so. And then phase two, that's when we can enter phase two. And phase two is where we really talk about the utility, right? And implementing Texacoin. Our big goal with Texacoin is to be the local community coin, right? It's a community driven project, it's crowdsourced. And then we want to implement this through all the cities and downtowns throughout Texas. We have a plan on reaching 300, implementing coin across 300 cities across Texas. And through a layer two format and a stable coin called the downtown digital dollar, which we can get into that more in just a little bit. But then also, you know, to give you an example on how we can implement this Texacoin, um, you know, for utility is like just right now, I'm actually at the State Fair of Texas. If you've ever been to, you know, a lot of state fairs out there, you can't use cash for anything. You have to take your cash, you have to go to a coupon booth, and you have to buy coupons, right, or tickets, and then you use those tickets to go around and buy all the food, ride all the rides, you know, do all the different things. Well, you know what Texacoin was originally dreamed about or dreamt up years ago was being like a fair and festival coin. You know, that's kind of the where Bobby got this whole community-driven currency and from, and compare and when he looked at the aspects of crypto, you know, something like the state fair you could implement Texacoin into, and then people could walk around and use their phones to literally pay for everything. And when you leave the fair, you don't have wasted tickets in your pocket, where you're not walking out of the fair with 14 turkey legs in your hand or something like that, you know, because you don't want to waste this money. You'd be able to go and exchange your coins back to cash, put that cash back in your bank account, or go down to your favorite restaurant, you know, go get your haircut a couple days later, something like that, and pay with Texacoin, right? So when we get into phase two, that's the real utility of it. And our utility is to be used as money, to be a peer-to-peer payment system that doesn't use any third-party validators or banks or institutions or anything like that, right? And so
okay.
one thing, Mike, with Texacoin is there is no pre-mined coins. There's no lockups or hold periods. Texacoin is completely liquid. We're trading on multiple exchanges now as well. And that's a big deal
And which are
because
those?
uh, on here, I have dex-trade.com, Bitmart. We're also on Mexi, which is one of the largest exchanges out there. I think it's number 7 or number 6 largest exchange on the list. And then we're on another one called Biocotomy that we just
Okay.
recently got on. Yep.
Uh, if you don't mind, text me those exchanges.
Yep. I can see you those.
Okay.
Um, but like I said, our utility, our vision right now is to build the largest privately decentralized mine in the world right here in Texas, right? To create a financial system to break free from our traditional banking systems, right? To empower local economies, right? And local business. Um, right here on our coin market cap, whoops, coin market cap data. This is we actually hit a high of $6, $7, I think, a couple weeks ago. So this stuff is a little bit out of date, being a couple weeks old. But with TEXITcoin, we started in April of 2024 is when we first went live on an exchange. We went live at 0.028 cents, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, that was back in April of last year. Now, today, I think we're trading around $4.30. Right now, we have approximately 48 million Texas coins in circulating supply, right? But that max supply is 353 million, and that'll take 136 years to mine out. We now have over 35,000 miners in our organization. This says 24. We actually have over 35,000 now. And then our block rewards are 254 TXC every 3.5 minutes is basically what our blocks come out as.
Can
So
you explain that?
so 254 Texas coins are released every block. And that block gets made every 3.5 minutes, roughly around there. All right.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to absorb this. Every 3.5 minutes, you make how many?
One block. So one block gets made every 3.5 minutes. Bitcoin makes a block every 10 minutes, right? So Litecoin, we're a copy of Litecoin. We make a block in every 3 minutes. And it's roughly around every 3.5. Now, the
And
one thing
every
that
block
the
makes
reason
how many coins?
254 every block.
Okay. So every 3 minutes, you make 254.
Yep. And so what happens with Texacoin when you own these mining spots, all those coins that are mined all day long, Mike, are then evenly distributed out to all the miners in our mining pool. So just like I said, we had about 35,000 miners that are joined us, but you can buy more than one seat. So we have about 140,000 seats that are spoken for right now that are sold. Right. So all the coins at the end of the day are evenly distributed to everybody that's in this. The reason why all 35,000 of us believe in this so much is because of the transparency, right? The one thing about crypto, right, that's really scary is you do have a lot of scams. The industry's been notorious for having scams and pump and dumps and all these different things in it. But the way that Bobby has built this thing, transparency is our foundation, right? So we show where all the money comes in and what all the money is used for, right? And then we also have our mining output right now, right? This red line is actually sold hash power. The blue line, since this is on block, it doesn't look very good. But if we switch that to day or month, then we could actually see the better representation of that. But the red line is sold hash power, and the green line right here is going to be actual operating power. And so right now we have multiple mine locations, and on Victoria, which is our second location. We have our mine systems running in McKinney right now, and then we have another location in Mansfield and Victoria, Texas. Victoria, Texas, we have these big shipping containers right here, right? And we're just waiting on the power to get ran over there and hooked up to that guy, and that runs like 200 of these machines. In McKinney, I don't know if we got 24 or 48 running just at the McKinney location, but this one holds 200, right? We also have a couple more containers, these big fog hashing containers that are sitting at the port right now that we got to get brought into Mansfield. And then we have another location in Houston. So within the next month or two, we're going to have multiple of these larger units turned on, powered on, and running. And this operating hash power is going to jump way up, and it's going to be more in line with our sold hash power, right? Which is what we want. It takes a lot of time to actually order these machines and then receive them, because they all come from China, right? We're using the state-of-the-art equipment from the best companies out there, and so it takes time, but it is working, right? The wheels are turning, things are moving, and so everything's going great. But the transparency behind this project is what's gotten us to where we are today. Today, we've actually brought in $84 million. Again, like I said, this is a couple weeks behind. It's one of the largest capital raises in a crypto project ever, and this is entirely from spread by word of mouth and people telling people about it, just like how you were told about it, right? And so anybody that wants to be involved in our mining project, you can buy anywhere from 1 seat at $9.95 up to 9 for $89.95. We actually have another bigger package called the Backdoor 27, which on that 9 pack is a builder's program, right? Where you get 3 tracking centers that you can build under and hit commissions at. So you can actually buy 9 packs on all 3 spots, which is at technically 27 seats. And that's something that's new that we opened up to just a few weeks ago. And so one person can buy, like I said, any amount of seats up to 27, but the 1 seat is $995. That right there, when you buy that seat, you get paid out in Texacoin daily, right at 7 p.m. off of the mining rewards.
Okay.
We average
Okay. I
about
have
$4 to $5 a day is what you're paid to in crypto.
okay. Now I have a question.
Yeah.
Being a miner, you are saying that you were owned a portion of that mine, one mine per $1,000 you spent.
Yeah, so
You
we're building 100 million mega hash mine. That 1 seat buys you 100 mega hash.
okay, but does that make you the owner? Is that notarized? Is that how are you an owner? Is it you're stated you're controlling one and that's it, or do you actually own a portion and there's
You can
documentation proving?
yeah, there's no documentation. You're not getting anything in writing. You actually don't fill out any type of forms or social security info or anything like that when you join in Texacoin. Now, you can earn more mining. You can earn more of these mining seats if you want to in forms of commission and rewards if you're out there helping it grow. But what you are is you have your spot on the blockchain, that pays out where you get your Texacoin paid out to daily.
So, is there any way that you can own it and lose it?
No. Once you own it, so once you put your cash in, you're going to receive this cold storage wallet in the mail, right? This is what's going to come to you in the mail. And this cold storage wallet right here, that's where your TXC gets paid out to you every single day. So as long as you have this coin in your possession, you are good, right? You don't ever want to lose your coin. That's one thing that Bobby's always told us. You got to keep your coin safe, right? So this right here, you have to keep in your safe, put it in safety deposit box, whatever you want to do to keep it safe. But you don't have to remember any passwords or anything like that. This actually has a laser engraved QR code on it, and that's how you access your account. You scan that into the TXC wallet app, which once you join on, you actually get welcome emails and everything that explain a lot of this. You'll have what's called the mission control manual. You'll be able to read through. That'll answer pretty much all of your questions when you get started with Texacoin. But this right here gets mailed to you in the mail. This is your account, right? You take your phone, you scan it into the TXC wallet app. You can leave it as a cold wallet if you want right now, and then you can just watch your daily payouts every single day. Or you turn it into a hot wallet if you want to monetize those coins, right? You turn it into a hot wallet, scan the laser engraved QR code on the back of this coin, and then you're able to send those coins over to DexTrade or Bitmort or any of the exchanges, and you can actually sell those coins for USDT or USDC and move that cash back into your bank account. Some people monetize their coins every single day. Some people live off this as just passive income. Some people like to mine these coins and hold them for a bigger payout later later in time, right? So you can do it however you want. That's one thing that Bobby always said. There's no lockup periods. This is as liquid as you want it to be, right? You can always
How
you
long do
there's
you think it'll
coins to do
take?
whatever you want with them. I'm sorry, go ahead.
How long do you think it'll take to recover your investment?
So right now, when anybody, whether you join on with the one seat, the 9.95, or the 9 pack, generally when you're receiving about $4 to $5 a day per that one seat, it on average it takes about 200 days to recoup your investment. If you don't earn any extra rewards, if you're not out there helping it grow, right? If you go out there and you bring on your first three people, we actually have two incentive programs. You have the 1-2 free, where you can actually bring on three people, or you have the rapid rewards, which is a binary system where where you sign multiple people up, and you have two legs, a right and a left. You get 3 points right, 3 points left. You can earn $1,000, which you can take in the form of mining seats, USDC, cash, or TXC, right? And again, we can get into this a little bit more, but just back to your question, when do you make your money back on 9.95, right? On one seat, if nothing changes, you're getting about $4 to $5 a day, and you're going to end up getting your money back in about 200 days, right? The way that it's been growing, the way that we've been, in the past, the way that we went up every month about 40 to 50% growth, a lot of people see their money back in 90 to 100 days, right? But a lot of people are out there telling people about it. It just comes natural because once you understand this project fully, and again, you won't really fully understand everything until you start following along our Tuesday night Zoom calls, which is our week-to-week miners chat that Bobby breaks down what's happened the week before, what we're doing the next week, and how we've gotten to where we are. And so that's one thing I tell a lot of people is, in the beginning, like in this short hour long Zoom call that we're going to have, I'm not going to be able to get you to fully understand every single thing about crypto or TEXITcoin. But through the end of this, you should be able to make an educated decision whether you want to put your cash in or not and take the risk. And as you follow along, the more you put into TexaCoin, the more you get out of it. And that's not just monetary, it's all about time. If you invest your time learning more and more about this project, you're going to get more out of it because you're going to be able to see how we've gotten to where we are today and where we're going in the future. And so when we have the mind full, we have those 300, or I'm sorry, once we have the mind full and we've sold all million seats based on the amount of circulating coins that are out there and the fact that we brought in $1 billion into this project or close to it, we believe our coin value is going to be around $16 come the end of February when we sell out these million seats. And that's
You think
based
you'll sell
on,
out?
say that
You
again,
think you'll
Mike?
sell out by February? You think
Yeah.
you'll sell out by February?
Yep. So me and the other 124 people on this call, we definitely believe that we're going to sell these million seats sooner rather than later. And so that end of February was something that was told to me by Bobby back at the beginning of January and beginning of this year. And so far, we've actually been a little bit ahead of schedule. Not much, but a little bit, right? Things have been going a little bit better than expected. And so, um, yeah, everybody in this project sees that too, because again, when you're a part of Texacoin, you get access to our Telegram chat, you get access to our weekly Zoom meetings, and everything like that. So you can really see the growth and why the growth is happening. And so that's
Well,
one thing that I put in here, the mining versus buying coins, right? On the mining side, you get your payouts daily. You have passive income for the next 136 years, right? Because that's how long the mine's going to go for. You can build generational wealth, access to our community meetings, right? We put on meetings Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, right? So you're going to have access to all of those. And then we also do bonuses like trips, cars, and much more. We just got back from a big Thailand trip that was our introduction to Asia, and that went extremely well. We were also one of the largest sponsors of Token 2049 conference in Singapore. which we had two speaking engagements, two stages that we spoke on, and everything over there went really, really well. And so some of your difference when you're just buying coins out there, Mike, is with buying coins there is no minimum. You can buy as little as $1, right? But that's all you're going to get, right? Is what you pay for. And there's no extra payouts, there's no bonuses, there's no access to our private community. And when you sell it, you're selling coins for cash, right? And you're putting your money back into an inflationary asset like cash, and then you have nothing left. And so that's really the big selling point with this, is being able to get in on the mining side, because you don't really have that opportunity anywhere else in crypto right now. There's not too many mineable layer one coins out there that you can actually be a part of and get those daily payouts and get it for a long time. And so, and then we have a steady, we have a steady plan for growth to work our way to $16. With our liquidity reserves, you asked about liquidity. We're going to have at $16, we're going to have $100 million in liquidity sitting there to support our price at $16. We actually have a documented, published article called The Path to 16 on our MineTXC website that explains the stair-step method that we're going to take in order to work our way up to that $16 price. Right now, we have three things. No, we have four things backing up our liquidity right now. We have $1 million in USDC. We have $1 million in Ethereum. We have $1 million in Bitcoin. And now we have $2 million in gold backing up our price for liquidity reserves.
Okay.
Right. And so,
Now,
and
do
so
you
as,
expand?
yep, go ahead.
Are you planning on expanding beyond Texas, or is this going to be limited to Texas?
Okay. So the mine and the mining infrastructure and everything is all located in Texas. Now, once we roll out our layer two stablecoin called the Downtown Digital Dollar, we're going to be able to expand that all across the United States. And so Bobby actually published an article with the path to 800 a couple weeks ago. The path to $800 a coin. That's also available on our MineTXC website. You look up the path to 800, and he explains that once we roll this out to not only all 300 cities that he's focused on for Texas, but then we can expand beyond all the local fairs, festivals that happen in all communities across the country, right? So yeah, we are planning on expanding this completely across the country, but then also in other countries as well, right? There's a lot of places on planet Earth that can benefit from a non uncontrolled money, right? Something that's honest money, something that's not inflatable or anything, or counterfeitable or anything like that, right? And so once we get into phase two, once our mine is built, we'll get into that phase two where we're implementing this, throughout Texas. All the other places out there are gonna follow suit, right? Once we have this going in multiple different places, some of the bigger cities here in Texas, like McKinney is one of the biggest, fastest growing cities in and around Dallas right now. And that's kind of where we're looking to start the Downtown Digital Dollar. That's going to be one of the first places we throw a big event and actually implement our Downtown Digital Dollar, our stable coin, right? And so Bobby
Okay.
said the math that once we do the stable coin, we're going to put $5 million in the local bank and then put on the event, we'll have 5 million downtown digital dollars running that event. When we multiply that across 300 cities, that's going to be a $1.5 billion stablecoin that's running on top of our Texacoin blockchain. And that's where the real value and the real utility comes into play, that where we get that exponential growth in Texacoin.
Well, now there's a law that's called ISO 222. How does Texacoin fall in that? Those are the ones, there's like 22 coins that are going to be approved internationally, and they follow
Yep.
the regulation that's required.
Yep. We're going to fall under the same regulations and everything Litecoin and Bitcoin is going to fall under.
So you'll be ISO 222 approved?
I I really don't know because I don't know anything about those laws. A lot of these laws are always changing, but I don't think Litecoin or Bitcoin is ISO 22 either. Um, and it's because again, like Bitcoin, they don't have to be, right? Bitcoin is completely decentralized money. You know, it's completely decentralized crypto that doesn't have any company, any person, you know, nothing like that that they can come after, and that's what we're building Texacoin for as well. You know, we are doing, you know, we are copying the same path that Bitcoin has shown us over the last 17 years. So we are a clone of Litecoin.
Hmm. Hmm. But it's decentralized.
Mhm.
But there's Bobby Gray who's controlling it. Isn't that not decentralized?
So as of right now, no, we wouldn't be calling ourselves decentralized today. And that's because we have to build this mine. Once the mine is built, then we can get to that decentralization part. But the mine's got to be built first. And so that's why in phase one, you know, it's still early, but you know, there's more risk in it now than what there will be later. And that's also why the returns are going to be better, right? The bigger the risk, the bigger the returns. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, right now in phase one, we are just a startup, right? We are just growing. We're only a fraction of the away to where we need to be. And so once the mine is completely built, then we can start looking at paths forward to becoming fully decentralized and out of the hands of Bobby Gray. But at this point in time, we do want, you know, a leader. We do want that leadership to drive us forward, right? And we need
Ah,
clear leadership to be doing things, moving us forward in the right direction, so we can get to where we want to be as well. Because I'm sure you're familiar.
okay.
There's a lot of crypto projects out there that don't really have any leadership, and nobody really knows what their real plans are in the future, right? And so that's one thing that's a little bit different about this. We really say that Texacoin is the best of Litecoin, Dogecoin, and XRP. And the reason why is because when you look at all these, XRP has really good leadership, right? But it's not a mineable coin. And it's completely centralized with Ripple being the largest holder. Then you have Litecoin and Dogecoin. You know, Litecoin's a mineable coin. It's super fast. It's low in transactions. Um, but I don't think it has a limited supply. Same thing with Dogecoin, or vice versa, one of the two.
Yeah,
Um,
Dogecoin, that's okay. I mean, Dogecoin, they can mine as many as they want, so that
right,
makes it
right. There's
very
no
dilutable.
limited supply, but there's a lot of them out there, and it's going to keep it very cheap and cheap to use, right? Low transaction fees and stuff. That's kind of our big thing. We want to be very minimal transaction fees, so we don't get in the same problem that Bitcoin has today, where it's you know, it costs more to use it than what, you know, some of the things you're buying. You know, a lot of people say you're not going to go down the road and buy a cup of coffee with Bitcoin just because the transaction fees are going to be so much, right? Cost the same amount as a cup of coffee that you're buying, right? And that was the big problem. And so that's the one thing that Texacoin solves. One, we're super low on transaction fees, but then also, you know, we're an American-made blockchain. Everything about this is located and secured in the state of Texas, which is a big deal. And so
Yes.
back to the comp plan, just for a little bit. The 1-2 free bonus is when you sign up your first three.
I lost you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Can you hear me? I can see you too
I
now.
yeah, okay. I lost your audio.
Gotcha. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So on your 1-2 free bonus, the reason why Bobby set this up this way, right, is because he's not a network marketing guy. He would never want to be in network marketing. And this thing may have some network marketing aspects to it, but the network marketing people out there will tell you this is not a network marketing company. But the network marketing aspects is when you join on as a miner, when you find your first 3 people, if you sign up your first 3 people within 30 days, you get 2 additional mines, right? That triples your daily output of coins just for bringing on 3 more people, right?
How
And then
does
you're
that
rapid,
triple?
because you're gonna buy 1 mine for 9.95, and then when you bring on 3 people, you're gonna get 2 more. So you're gonna go from 100 mega hash to 300 mega hash.
Got it. Okay, you're
Just
basing it on
just for
one
bringing
one
on your
mine.
first. Yep, yep.
Okay.
And then your comp plan, your rapid reward, if you're a builder and you go out there and you start signing people up, you have a right leg and a left leg, right? And so every time you match up 3 points on your right and left, you get $1,000. Now, what keeps this from getting out of hand and being and going under, right, is the fact that you can only max out 9 points left, 9 points right. Once you do that, we stop counting. You earn 3,000 commission for the week, and that's the max anyone can own or earn during any given week is 3,000, right? So whether you're the guy at the top or whether you're the guy at the bottom that's just joining on, everybody has the same potential, 3,000 a week. Now, when you have that 9 pack, you actually get 3 tracking centers. That's for the builders out there, right? That's why we call it the builder program. The 3 tracking centers, you can earn 3,000 on each tracking center. It's super hard to do. A lot of people can't do it. We have a few, but it's very, very rare, right? But you can earn more if you have that 9 pack, because that is the builder program. And so 9 points left, 9 points right, get you $1,000. Now that $1,000 or that $3,000 you can take in hash power, right, which is more mines. You can take it in TXC, as in coins, or you can take it in USDC. Either way, but you have your choice, right? So if you don't want the cash, you can take more mining power, and you can increase the output of coins you have every day. And so there's a lot of opportunity with this for a lot of folks that join in for $1,000, right? That then go out there and work a little bit. They roll up their sleeves and they get to work and they start helping us build and helping us grow. You know, they can get themselves set up to actually making a lot more coins per day than what they paid for. And that's the way this was designed. The people that go out there and work and build the most are going to get rewarded the most. And that's fair, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
so back to Bobby. The other clear reason why a lot of people, all 35,000 people that put their cash in, believe in this product, this project so much, right, is because this guy right here, Bobby Gray. Bobby created a currency system in 2008 that's still going today. It's called the AOCS, the American Open Currency Standard. So he was minting gold, silver, copper coins and going out there and implementing them in the marketplace for people to use to barter and trade and do business with gold, silver, copper coins, which to me is mind blowing. It's the hardest way possible. And so he did that back in 2008, and that's still running today. He testified in Congress in 2012 um, on monetary policy under Ron Paul's last hearing in Congress, right? And then he also designed the first Bitcoin design and stamped a gold coin with that logo, that B logo on it with the microchips in 2012. That's the same Bitcoin logo that you see today. Bobby's the guy that made that, stamped it on a gold coin, right? That's how he capitalized on Bitcoin without ever buying in. When he made that coin, Bitcoin was like $5 a coin, right? And so he never got rich off Bitcoin. He never bought into Bitcoin. And this is what sold me when I met Bobby and he told me this whole project and told me the whole idea behind TEXITcoin, was that he missed out on Bitcoin just like I did. I watched Bitcoin for a long time and I never bought in because I could never figure out what it was going to be used for, which was his same problem as well, because he's a gold and silver guy, right? How can digital currency be used for something when you can't hold it, can't touch it, can't feel it, right? And so what he did was he bridged the gap between the physical and digital world with cold storage coins, right? That same Texacoin cold storage coin that I showed you earlier, he made a lot of different coins out there, right? He made it for USDT, for Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these different cryptos out there where you could then store your digital asset on a physical coin. You could hold it in your hand and you didn't have to worry about um, passwords being lost. You wouldn't have to worry about water or fire damage and different things like that. And so that's how he originally capitalized on the crypto world. And then finally in 2023, he sold out of his minting business. In 2024, the beginning of 24, he started Texas, right? And so we always say this: Texacoin is the product of combining the principles of honest money and the financial technology of our time. He said this during the Ron Paul birthday presentation that he did, and I thought that was just great, right? Because that's been his life's work, is honest money. That's why he took himself off the cash system in '08 and started making the gold, silver, copper coins, right? That's because what was happening in '08 was the financial crisis. And so, you know, he's been doing this a long time. Honest money is nothing new to him. And, you know, the fact that he could build out a currency system the hardest way possible, in my eyes, with the precious metals, but now doing it in the crypto space is just genius. And then back to the transparency, being able to show where all the money comes in and where all the money goes. And then a Telegram chat, he posts receipts to everything when every dollar's spent. It's completely transparent. It's more transparent than I've ever seen in any type of traditional or non-traditional investment out there. You know, I've had a lot of different things that I've done over the years. Some went really well, some went really bad. But either way, you know, I've never seen anything as transparent as this. You know, being able to see everything real time on the website every single day that you want to check it out. And so when you, we have this right here just to show when you're getting started. This is all that is required: name, phone number, email, mailing address, payment. There's no social security numbers. There's no financial paperwork, anything like that that you need. And then if you Mine TXC only accepts crypto payments. If you don't have crypto, then get in touch with your sponsor, right? Matthew would be who you would contact to work out different payment methods like that, right? And then Q&A. What kind of questions you got, Mike? Did I answer all your utility ones?
Well, I'm still a little in the dark as far as utility. Um, how is it's going to be adopted?
So we're focusing on the fairs and festivals, right? That's kind of like our first implementation, right? So just like I said, like right here at the State Fair of Texas, you have to go to the coupon booth, take your cash, right, and buy these little tickets, right? And then you go around and pay these tickets at the fair. You can't use cash, you can't use credit cards, you can't use anything but these paper coupons. And so, you know, we would want to implement our crypto, right, or Texacoin into the fairs and festivals, right, the local fairs and festivals out there, so that that way when people are coming into the event, they're bringing their money in, right, they're buying our coins, right. In this case, like you know, when we release the downtown digital dollar, they'll be spending their cash buying these downtown digital dollars, right, this layer 2 stable coin. And then they're going to go around the event, they're going to do business, they're going to pay all the vendors and all the stuff with this downtown digital dollar. And then the actual event, so like the fair, right, or the festival, whatever, they'll be able to track and see where all this money comes in and where all this money goes, how many times it traded hands, and they'll have all this data behind it. And what it's going to do at the end of it, when the event is over, right, anybody can go down to the bank or whatever and cash their money back out, right? They could trade in their stable coins and get cash back out, but there's going to be a small little penalty, right? And that's what's going to keep people into the crypto spot, right, into the downtown digital dollar and not pulling their cash back out of the bank, because you know they'll be able to go down the road and you know go to their favorite dinner, go to favorite restaurant and buy dinner or anything like that with it as well. You know, we're going to be planning on implementing this not only like through fairs and festivals, but also local mom and pop businesses around town and everything like that. Like we've had, you
Now,
know, Bobby's mentioned multiple times that we've had people requesting to take TXC. Like they want to be able to actually do all this now And we have to get our mind built out to where it's a little bit more redundant, a little bit more secure, a little bit bigger to process all this stuff before we can just go out there and start implementing this today, right? So that's why we have
So
a plan.
do you have anybody who's using it now?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that take Texacoin right now for their business. I know of some coffee shops. I know of some printing businesses. I'm pretty sure there's someone in Texas that has a gun store that takes it. Um, there's a lot of people out there now that are taking it that are just small businesses, but there's nowhere mainstream yet, right? That's kind of what we're saying is next year, once the mine is built, we're going to be able to go out there, next year and implement phase two, which is gonna be the utility, right? That's gonna be implementing it so businesses are taking it. Because again, the most businesses out there pay 1.75 to 3.5% for a credit card fee, right? And this eliminates that problem. And it's going to hold money in the community as opposed to being sucked out by every transaction through credit card
Okay.
processing fees and everything else. And so, and it's an immediate way to pay, right? Even if you're a business and you have a credit card processing, every time you take a credit card, you almost don't see that money for 48 hours, 48 to 72 hours. It almost takes 2 or 3 days before that money actually gets into your account. And that's why crypto, right? That's the whole point of crypto is to be immediate payment system to where you can transfer and do business immediately, transfer those funds. And so that's what Bitcoin was originally created for, but is no longer doing, right? All the rich people out there, all the big wigs about Bitcoin, all talk about it the same way. And they explain that it's just digital gold, right? They say it's perfect money, but then they say it's digital gold. And what's gold used for? A hedge against inflation. That's what Bitcoin's being used for. It's being hoarded up by all the institutions and all the billionaires out there. Um, and it's not being used as money. It's not being used as a peer-to-peer payment system anymore. And so that's what Texacoin is we want to be used as digital silver, right? We want to be used as the money, the actual transactions. Because we're light, we're fast, we're cheap, we're secure. Again, American-made blockchain. We're built here for here. On the website, built by Texans for Texans, right? We're doing business local. That's what our whole motto is. And so going out there, again, Bobby's already done this before with gold and silver copper coins. He's already went out there and got thousands of businesses, thousands of people to do business with it, trade and barter it. And now we're just doing it with a crypto. As easy as, something as easy you can take your phone, you can walk up, scan the QR code and pay instantly right there. And so there's already a lot of festivals. There's already a lot of different things out there that don't take cash or credit cards, right? Again, the fairs and festivals is like a $59 billion industry across our country, right? Just in the United States. And so if we can just get a fraction of that, we're going to be great, right? That's what we're looking to start with implementation. And then, like a lot of cities out there, a lot of communities, all the downtown businesses, local mom and pop shops, all that stuff will benefit from using this opposed to the traditional systems that are in place right now with credit card processing and everything like that. So that's where Texacoin, that's where we're going to succeed. That's what our utility is. It's good. We're going to be used as money.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions about anything? Anybody have anything they want to drop in the chat tonight? You still there, Mike?
I am. Can you hear me?
Did I lose you? Yep, I can hear you now.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
All right. So now, is there anything keeping you from signing up with us to join us mining?
I'm getting close.
Okay. Well, if there's anything, like I said, I think if you're a reader, we have a couple articles on the Mine TXC website. If you go on there and you look at the path to 16, the path to 800, I think you'd be able to read a couple things there that might kind of help paint the picture a little bit. for you.
Okay.
Then if there's
All
anything
right.
else
Well, thank you.
you bet. Have a good night. We'll see you later.
Okay. Good night.